The 60s are remembered not as a single decade, but as an explosion, a revolution of sound, of color, of attitude. London was the epicenter, no longer looking to Paris for instruction, but dictating its own rules with the reckless confidence of youth. King's Road became a catwalk of its own, Carnaby Street a carnival where shop windows screamed in paisley and pop art. Music thundered from the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Kinks, and fashion, once an aristocratic whisper, became a roar. In this roar, Moyra Swan arrived like a pause. Her name alone felt symbolic. Swan. The critics said it suited her, with her elongated neck, her poise, her way of moving, as if water itself was carrying her. But it wasn't only anatomy, it was a presence. Calm, measured, almost regal. At a time when the world was rushing headlong into youthquake chaos, she seemed to have stepped out of a painting, a reminder that grace could still exist amid revolution. The 60s were the era of extremes. On one side, minimalism, dresses like clean architecture, sharp A-line silhouettes, neutral palettes. On the other, maximalism, psychedelic swirls, florals that looked like hallucinations, skirts cut high enough to scandalize Paris. Models like Twiggy embodied the teenage, androgynous energy of the age. Jean Shrimpton became the it girl, her face as recognizable as any actress. Penelope Tree turned eccentricity into art. And then there was Moyra Swan, not the loudest, not the wildest, but perhaps the most balanced. Designers loved her because she could hold both worlds at once. Put her in a Mary Quant mini, and she gave it refinement. Put her in an Yves Saint Laurent riot of ribbons and silks, and she gave it restraint. Editors whispered that she had the rare ability to make clothes look calmer than they were. She could wear chaos and make it elegant, one assistant recalled. Photographers noticed. Bert Stern, already legendary for capturing Marilyn Monroe's last moments, shot Moyra for Vogue in a Saint Laurent ensemble that was more explosion than outfit. Silk prints, ribbon trim, Roger Vivier accessories that seemed almost too decadent for the page. And yet, when the photographs returned, there was no chaos at all. Swan had tamed the storm. The eye didn't see noise, it saw harmony. David Bailey, with his raw London energy, preferred models who looked like the city itself. Modern, brash, electric. But even Bailey softened when Moyra stepped in front of his camera. Her presence changed the rhythm of his lens. She wasn't rebellion. She wasn't irony. She was balance. Richard Avedon, always chasing movement, once said that some models danced with the camera, while others merely stood before it. Moyra, he might have said, glided. Every image of her seemed to carry motion, even in stillness. Helmut Newton, who adored bold, almost dangerous femininity, found in her something different, quiet authority. To walk through London in those years was to feel the world shedding its skin. At Biba, girls bought velvet coats and feather boas for the price of a night at the cinema. Ossie Clark designed gowns that looked like liquid music, perfect for nights at the UFO Club, where Pink Floyd played under pulsing lights. On Portobello Road, boys dug through military jackets, repurposing the past into something subversively modern. Granny takes a trip dressed rock stars in velvet trousers and satin capes. Fashion was no longer about status. It was about statement. And still, Moyra Swan moved through it differently. She could wear the same clothes, but she lifted them out of rebellion and into art. She wasn't swinging London, she was floating London. A creature apart, belonging not to the boutiques and backstreets, but to the pages of magazines, the private archives of editors. This is why she never became a household name. She wasn't plastered on teenage bedroom walls. She didn't open a line of cosmetics or appear in films. She stayed in the orbit of fashion itself, loved by photographers, cherished by designers, remembered by editors. Her fame was never public. It was intimate, whispered, preserved in the stillness of her photographs. And perhaps that is why her legacy today feels so haunting. In an era defined by noise, the thunder of guitars, the shouts of protest, the clamor of boutiques, the clash of prints, Moyra Swan remains the whisper. Her photographs remind us that the 60s were not only about revolution, but also about balance. That amid the riot of color, there could still be serenity. Looking at her now is like discovering a lost reel of film, an unseen angle of an age we thought we knew by heart. She is not the symbol of rebellion, nor of conformity. She is the quiet bridge between them, a swan gliding across turbulent waters, leaving behind ripples we are only just beginning to notice.